This episode of Weekly Weird News is sponsored by HelloFresh and by Feels.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. More than a half century after this country's most notorious string of unsolved serial murders, the Zodiac Killer has finally been identified.
Oh?
Or at least that's the impression that you might get looking at all the various news headlines about this that came out earlier this week. But what's actually going on here? Who the hell is Gary F. Post? And why are so many people now convinced that he committed the 5 confirmed Zodiac murders in Northern California in the late 1960s and potentially many, many more?
I like the idea of Ted Cruz watching this video and then you get to that part and he's like, oh, whew.
Who exonerated?
Finally, Ted, you did it.
So yeah, but why is everyone excited about this? Well, so there's certainly at least a few reasons to place this guy on the extremely long list of potential Zodiac suspects, but saying he's the Zodiac Killer is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, the theory that Gary F. Post, who died in 2018 at 80 years old, by the way, was the Zodiac, comes to us via a group called the Case Breakers, made up of former police and military investigators who issued a press release this week outlining their findings. And just looking at the press release and not the various news articles written about it, there really isn't anything you can consider ironclad evidence here.
No.
But there's a small amount of circumstantial evidence tying Gary F. Post to the 1966 murder of Sherry Jo Bates in Riverside, California. A wristwatch found at the scene of the murder had some paint splatter on it and may have been purchased at a military base. And Gary Post was an Air Force veteran who painted houses for a living.
Dun, dun, dun.
Also, actually, no, that's pretty much it.
Okay. We got him.
People love solving crimes.
They do. And look, this is important. Important detail here. The murder of Sherry Jo Bates remains unsolved, but it's also never officially been linked to the Zodiac murders. I mean, there's definitely evidence linking them, and a lot of Zodiac heads, they have differing opinions on it. But
yeah, and there's also, you have to understand that a lot of the times, especially back then, there would be copycat killings.
People take for granted just how many fucking serial killers there were in the
70s?
The 60s and 70s, especially in California for some reason. But yeah, I mean, there is evidence linking the Bates murder to the rest of the Zodiac murders, including a letter to the LA Times supposedly from the Zodiac in which he claims to have committed a murder in Riverside. But the Riverside PD, they've been trying to solve this case for 55 years, and at this point they insist that it wasn't actually a Zodiac murder. It still could be. But right off the bat, the Case Breakers, they're basing this new Zodiac Killer ID off of evidence from a murder that even a lot of Zodiac case experts don't think he was involved in. So not the best jumping off point.
Yeah, the Case Breakers say they have evidence linking the Zodiac to the Bates murder, though. A typed confession mailed to a Riverside newspaper after the Bates murder, seemingly written by the murderer, features similar language to handwritten letters sent by the Zodiac Killer to the San Francisco Chronicle. Both letters use the phrases "I shall" and "the game," and the words twitch and squirm, but with twitch misspelled the same way. Again, maybe something, but really not all that solid in terms of evidence.
Yeah, it's just a couple little words.
We're not talking
and phrases.
Robert Durst level of handwriting analysis here.
Yeah, it's this is really, you go looking for connections. David Fincher made a great movie about how this shit will drive you actually insane, just looking for patterns, trying to solve the Zodiac case. And a lot of this is starting to look like that. It's like, don't you see, he misspelled twitch the same way. All right.
Yeah.
He said I shall instead of I will. Only one person would ever talk like that. Anyway, the rest of the Case Breakers evidence seems to be based on people who knew Gary F. Post, who believed he was the Zodiac Killer, which that's pretty compelling until you remember that there has been a kind of crazy amount of people over the years who have just sworn up and down that friends or relatives of theirs must have been the Zodiac Killer. Mm-hmm. They can't all be. In most of these cases, what's more likely is that the person that they suspect of being the Zodiac Killer was simply a weird sociopathic piece of shit. And that seems like it may be the case here.
Yeah, the press release is kind of hard to follow, but it sounds like Gary F. Post supposedly had some sort of violent criminal posse of younger men that he took under his wing and indoctrinated in some way. One guy who claims to have been a former member of this posse told the Case Breakers that Post enjoyed killing and mutilating wild animals and saw Post burying murder weapons. Post's former daughter-in-law claims that when she broke up with Post's son, the posse harassed and threatened her until she moved out of state. These would certainly indicate that Gary F. Post was a sick bastard and a real piece of shit, but there's plenty of bad people out there and only one Zodiac.
Or is there?
Sounds like these code breakers are just like Dog the Bounty Hunter. We're getting a lot of leads.
Yeah. Got a lot of leads, and I'm going to milk these leads for all they're worth.
Yeah.
Finally, though, the case breakers submit as evidence the fact that Gary F. Post had scars on his forehead from a car accident that kind of look like the lines on the forehead of the Zodiac Killer in that famous police sketch.
So there you
Look
go.
at me, I'm the Zodiac.
Yeah. He laughs a lot. He's got
Ladies
wrinkles.
and gentlemen, we got him.
Yeah.
They also say they found a selfie that Post took of himself in the hooded costume that the Zodiac wore during the 1969 Lake Berryessa attack, which left one survivor. That's pretty huge, except selfie is a big stretch here. It's a photo of a silhouette on the wall that kind of resembles like the general shape of the Zodiac hood. It might not even be a silhouette. It could just be like a water stain. So, but they're like, yes, he has a selfie of himself in the costume. Not so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, lock him up. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's dead?
Oh, he's dead. Well, dig him up and lock him up.
Yes.
They also claim that using Gary F. Post's name is the key to solving several of the Zodiac's ciphers.
Okay.
That would be pretty big, but they haven't actually provided any evidence of that, which is strange. Last year, you had those people actually like cracking one of the ciphers after years of doing it, and the FBI immediately was like, "Oh yeah, you did it.
Thanks.
Good job."
Yes.
Not the response from law enforcement on this one. Not so optimistic.
Yeah.
Also, the people who actually did conclude, they solved the people who solved that cipher last year when reached out to by like the San Francisco Chronicle and other media outlets, they're like, we having solved a Zodiac cipher myself. Doesn't sound believable what they're claiming to have done.
Hey, code breakers, stick to the daily jumble.
Yeah.
But probably the funniest example of evidence in this press release is another person who was Post's neighbor when she was a child and says he treated his wife like shit. She says that she recently called up Post's wife, who told her, quote, "I'm sorry that I didn't tell the cops about his Zodiac past."
Oh my God.
Zodiac's the key word here, and it's inserted using brackets. So, in other words, Post's wife actually didn't fucking say that. If she did say her husband was the Zodiac, there'd hopefully be a better quote about it than that.
I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back on my Zodiac bullshit. He said it. Well,
Also,
he didn't say Zodiac, but you know.
You would assume some follow-up interviews with numerous outlets and police.
Yeah.
Like, my husband was the Zodiac, and I knew the entire time.
Yep.
Oh, couldn't you answer some more questions for us? No.
No. I'm going to talk to these
code breakers.
These case breakers over
Case
here.
breakers, sorry.
You'll hear from them soon enough in a hideous PDF.
Yeah.
That I'm sure they had trouble downloading and opening. How do I open PDF? Anyway, the reason that the case breakers issued this press release seems to be just because they recently tried unsuccessfully to get the Riverside PD to test Gary Post's DNA against DNA samples from the Bates murder. So they just went to the media to try and apply some pressure that way. And it seems like it works, or at least the first part did. They got their attention.
Yeah.
And honestly, the Riverside PD probably should go ahead and check on that. If it's even possible. I mean, I don't know much about testing DNA, but we're talking like, really tiny, like
decades ago and bad samples.
DNA wasn't a thing anyone even knew about.
Until OJ came along.
Yeah. I mean, like at the time that this murder happened, Watson and Crick were down at the lab doing LSD, discovering the existence of DNA. So, I mean, it could just be that they can't test it. But I don't know if they can. Yeah, they should.
That's how the Golden State Killer got found, right? At the end?
That was through genealogy.
Oh, yeah, because someone had submitted theirs for like one of those ancestry things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if Gary Post isn't the Bates murderer or the Zodiac Killer, they should test this guy's DNA because he does sound like a weird, dangerous piece of shit. Sounds like the kind of person with DNA that may be linked to some unsolved crimes.
Even if it's not the Zodiac Killer, you could potentially solve some cold cases here.
Again, there was a lot of fucking unsolved weird murders in California in the 60s and 70s. And just because someone seemed like they might have killed someone, but they're not the Zodiac, doesn't mean they didn't kill someone else.
Yeah, and it would be, potentially solve some cases.
Yeah.
That aren't as, don't have the notoriety of the Zodiac case, but are still very important.
Yeah, they should do that.
Yeah. And what's funnier is after this press release went out, random people on the internet, they managed to find some potentially more potentially compelling evidence almost immediately.
Yeah, way more compelling than anything these case breakers did.
There's several old forum posts from 2017 and 2018 where multiple accounts suggest Gary Francis Post as the identity of the Zodiac. One of those old posts was by a user named Glenn Barnes. And over on Facebook, people found a Glenn Barnes who was in fact friends with Gary Post and made Facebook posts like this one featuring photos of himself and Gary Post. My last visit with the old man, Gary Post. Zodiac? God dang, I miss you, old man.
What the fuck?
It's me and the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, I mean, this is fucking wild. He admitted it.
Yeah.
And he's also good buds with the Zodiac, I guess. This is my friend. He's a Zodiac.
He's famous.
I miss my friend, the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah. He might have been nasty to a couple people, but he was really nice to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, look. To my eyes, this looks like probably just a little inside joke between friends. Like, this is my buddy, the Zodiac Killer. Like, it would be kind of weird to know that your friend was the Zodiac and then still happily spend time with them and take pictures of them and then also just casually spill his lifelong secret
on Facebook. Yeah.
I mean, stranger things have happened on the internet. It just seems the more likely option here is that they had a running joke between them.
It's just like a Capital Rider.
Zodiac.
Here I am with the Zodiac Killer. He's my friend.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we don't have serial killers as much anymore, is because it's a lot easier for people to self-report these days, so they avoid it.
Yeah. But hey, look, as we've seen over the past 4 weeks now, people can disappear after committing murders.
They can.
Allegedly.
It's still possible.
Yeah, even with the dog on their trail.
The trick is to feed yourself to alligators. They'll never find you.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot here and also not a lot here.
Yeah.
Everything is circumstantial, and again, there's been dozens of other suspects over the years with enough circumstantial evidence to make them a suspect. So to see how this theory really stacks up, it's good to ask people who have been obsessed with this case for decades and what they think. And so far, the response from Zodiac obsessives has been lukewarm or just flat out hostile. Rolling Stone reached out to Tom Voigt, who has been investigating the case for a very long time, including writing a book about it and running ZodiacKiller.com for 23 years. And he doesn't think very highly of this new theory.
Yeah, so asked for his take, Voigt told Rolling Stone, "Yeah, I've got about 1 million people on my website right now. It's all bullshit, by the way, just to get that out of the way. This is hot garbage. I don't know why it got any coverage at all. It was basically a press release." He also said the following about the whole forehead scars evidence thing. "No witness ever described lines on Zodiac's forehead. Those lines were simply added by the sketch artist to fill in the sketch. The amended sketch, which is supposed to look more like Zodiac, according to witnesses, doesn't really even have any lines. So they got rid of them. So because the witnesses were like, we're not really happy with that sketch that we gave you a few days ago, they got changed. The lines went away. No witness ever described that. I wouldn't even call him a suspect. I don't think he checks any boxes whatsoever. In fact, if he does have scars on his forehead, that's a really fucking good reason to rule him out."
That's true. I mean, if he had clearly identified
that would
marks,
be the first thing that the witnesses would say. Like, he had some crazy fucking scars on his face.
In the drawing, it's just like, let me fill this space in with some wrinkles that everyone has on their forehead.
How old do you look? I don't know, like 40? Okay,
he's got wrinkles here, and there you go.
He had lines on his forehead, yeah.
Tom Voigt obviously has his own biases, though, as does anyone who has invested a lot of time into studying this case. Maybe they're just jealous about the case break.
No, it's my theory is correct.
Similarly, over on Reddit's Zodiac Killer forum, seemingly none of its user base finds this latest theory credible at all. The Case Breakers group also doesn't have the best reputation in the larger community of unsolved cases, after previously claiming to have identified D.B. Cooper and having their theories largely rejected.
Also kind of ruining an old man's life.
Yeah.
I think he may be dead now, but he lost his business. Like, his reputation was just ruined over this D.B. Cooper thing. Mm-hmm. And I think he tried to sue them. And not a very compelling case.
So despite what you might have heard, the Zodiac Killer has not, in fact, been identified. And we can still go on assuming that Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer.
Somehow.
It's just another theory to add to the pile. The desire to get to the bottom of this case that has remained unsolved for so long, it's totally understandable. Like we said, people are addicted to true crime.
Yeah.
And everyone now is going back and trying to solve cases that maybe someone missed something.
Yeah, it sucks not knowing. It's
a mystery.
It's a mystery.
But I can say with all the dedication that you probably don't have to worry about the Zodiac Killer anymore, whoever it was.
Yeah, this person is almost certainly dead or, infirmed.
Yes.
They would be very, very old right now. Mm-hmm. It's just like how we don't know who Jack the Ripper was, and that's very annoying. I wish we did, but Jack the Ripper's not going to get you.
No.
So.
You know it will. Diabetes.
Diabetes is going to get you. And we know the identity
Diabetes.
of that killer.
His name is Tommy Sugarfoot.
But moving on now from Zodiac Killer theories to philosophical theory. YouTube has definitely shown us that there's really not any limits to media analysis. Just think of any popular TV show or movie, no matter how juvenile or really not that deep seeming, and someone out there has made an hour-long deep dive analysis video about it.
Check out my 6-part series on Hubie Halloween.
And now that sort of thing has crossed over into academia, with 2 PhD students hosting an upcoming philosophy symposium about the Boss Baby.
I don't get this. It's so weird that this is a huge thing. Like Shrek I get, Minions I get, but like the obsession about Boss Baby is just so strange.
I haven't seen the Boss Baby, have you?
No, but it's just a baby that's a boss.
It sounds like there might be more to it than that.
Does he smoke a big cigar?
No, I don't think so. They don't let babies smoke in movies anymore.
It's a real shame, damn cancel culture.
But Boss Baby, of course, is a 2017 animated DreamWorks children's movie starring Alec Baldwin as the titular Boss Baby. And it's also spawned a sequel and a TV show.
There's a whole Boss Baby universe?
It's a Boss Baby franchise, baby.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen the Boss Baby. Sorry, but here's the official synopsis so that you're all aware. A new baby's arrival impacts a family, told from the point of view of a delightfully unreliable narrator, a wildly imaginative 7-year-old named Tim. The most unusual Boss Baby, Alec Baldwin, arrives at Tim's home in a taxi, wearing a suit and carrying a briefcase. The instant sibling rivalry must soon be put aside when Tim discovers that Boss Baby is actually a spy on a secret mission, and only he can help thwart a dastardly plot that involves an epic battle between puppies and babies. Gotta see this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than I would have guessed.
Sure, I guess.
It's a talking baby movie, but there's like subterfuge. There's an evil plot by puppies to take down babies. I don't know. Sounds interesting, but also, it doesn't seem like the type of thing that's all that ripe for deep analysis. But the organizers of the first and potentially
maybe last
Boss Baby Symposium, they disagree. From their event page, the Boss Baby Symposium welcomes virtual presentations that engage in interdisciplinary analysis, interpretation, and critique of the original Boss Baby movie starring Alec Baldwin. We seek to inspire multifaceted discussion of Boss Baby from a number of viewpoints, emphasizing the many fascinating and diverse intersections between Boss Baby and issues of personal interest. Topics may include, but are not limited to, politics, meta-analysis, art and affectivity, theories and commentary, metaphysics, issues of aging and child development, culture, and religion. Presentations should fall between 10 and 15 minutes in length. The presenter should be prepared to engage in a panel-style discussion of the material following their presentation.
We're going to have a Q&A after this, and you better be prepared to answer any questions I might have about your meta-analysis of the Boss Baby film. I did see, because there's a sequel, right?
Yeah.
I saw someone, they had made like a full-sized, person in a suit, Boss Baby. It's like a 5-foot-tall Boss Baby, and it was like kind of horrifying looking.
I know in the second one, the trailer, the second Boss Baby takes place 30 years later.
The adult Boss Baby?
The Boss Baby is now a boss grown man.
Yeah.
But he takes a special potion to babyfy him again.
Oh my God.
He gets turned back into a baby because he gets called back for one more job.
One final job.
Yeah.
Yeah. AV Club spoke to Jamie McCaffrey of the University of Kentucky and Tor Lavender of Fordham University, who are behind the symposium, about why they're doing this. McCaffrey told him, "I really love interpretive nightmares, and I think that Boss Baby is so in conflict with itself. Its messaging, the way it tries to convey ideas, you almost can't discern what the position of the movie is. And all the artistic decisions in the movie seem to be conflict with each other in such a way that as a viewer, you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel, and therefore I must analyze."
Making me kind of want to watch The Boss Baby.
Yeah, but also I don't think I could be wrong, but I just don't think it's that deep. I think it's just lazy.
Well, but that's the thing. Even bad art
is art.
Even lazy art. It's like there's so much more to analyze about the movie The Room than what's on the screen and on the script page. There's a lot more to it. So sounds like
I feel like it's just harder to do that though with animated films because everything is on purpose.
Yes, but I think what they're saying is that
Then again, Shrek has had years of overanalyzation.
Yeah.
Some of it actually quite good.
Shrekfest. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is people have theories about what Shrek is truly about.
Yeah.
And relationships between the characters and stuff that like might not have even been intentional in the first place, or they didn't even think deeper than like the level that they were forced to just make the movie appear.
It's worthy of analysis and critique.
I might have to watch this Boss Baby. It's kind of selling me on it.
Yeah. Levender, the other guy, said of the Boss Baby, quote, "It is not an artful masterpiece, but it contains within it so many weird things that are so worthy of analysis. There's definitely some classic Marxist analysis that you could put into looking at the whole process of baby corp that is tied to natality in a super direct way. That's really weird. And then the opposing corporation of puppy corp that wants to seemingly eradicate the need to ever reproduce. So there's definitely feminist analysis that you could be putting onto Boss Baby. It goes on and on from the way that you want to end up approaching it."
These guys, look, I think weed's fine. But I think people smoked a little too much weed and are overanalyzing the movie.
Boss Baby movies just for babies, that's what they want you to think. There's
that's the thing is, who is this movie even for? Because it's obviously not for babies. It's for like preteens, right? I would assume.
No, it's not for babies. It's for kids. You know, like any DreamWorks movie. It's for kids like ages 3 to.
But like you have to also
11.
be interested in like business.
I mean,
it's not like How to Train Your Dragon where it's like there's dragons and fights and stuff.
I mean, it's like all children's media is done in a way where it's like designed to entertain small children who are fucking stupid, but also be like smart enough that older people can watch it, and it's not.
It's like that Baby Geniuses that came out in our era.
Yeah, I remember that.
Except animated.
Yeah, but
or like Look Who's Talking, where it's like these babies got so many problems we didn't even know about it.
Like someone had to sit down and write the Boss Baby and like make decisions about the plot, and there's it's a piece of media that is worthy of analysis at this Boss Baby Symposium.
I guess so. I mean, I guess. So yeah, we very much look forward to what comes out of the first Boss Baby Symposium in January, because it sounds like there's a lot to analyze. Also, like in perfect timing, this is aligned almost directly with CES. So like the entire tech world is going to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It literally is like a prequel to CES.
Well, it says it's in Las Vegas, but that's apparently a meta joke for all the Boss Baby heads out there.
Oh, really?
It's just going to be a virtual. It's going to be done over Zoom, I think.
Well, that sucks. Someone should show up in Vegas because there's going to be a lot of CES dorks there that would really appreciate this.
Yeah. I'm not here for CES. I'm here to hear about the Boss Baby.
Yeah, I got my Boss Baby lanyard, and I'm ready to go. So if it's virtual, we can watch it.
Yeah, I hope
great.
so.
Anyways, that's, speaking of recent media that's very worthy of continued analysis, for some reason, the Cats movie is back in the news.
God damn it.
The Cats movie, the thing that started this entire pandemic.
It really did.
Yeah. It seems so long ago now because it was.
Yeah, that was the last movie that a lot of people saw before the world ended.
It will have been 2 years in 2 months.
Yeah.
Whew. Turns out Andrew Lloyd Webber, the Broadway legend behind the original Cats Broadway show, felt the same way about the Cats movie as pretty much everyone else. He was horrified and baffled by what he saw.
And he wrote the damn thing.
Variety recently ran a long piece on Andrew Lloyd Webber and the gradual return of live theater after COVID forced most of it to shut down. And at the end of the piece, he gets right into just how much he hated Cats.
Cats was off the scale all wrong, says Lloyd Webber. There wasn't really any understanding of why the music ticked at all. I saw it and I just thought, oh God, no. It was the first time in my 70-odd years on this planet that I went out and bought a dog. So the one good thing to come out of it is my little Havanese puppy. That puppy has been a constant companion of Lloyd Webber's during lockdown. They have grown so attached that he's even figured out a way to bring the dog to New York the next time he travels to the city. I wrote off and said I needed him with me at all times because I'm emotionally damaged and I must have this therapy dog, says Lloyd Webber. The airline wrote back and said, can you prove that you really need him? And I said, yes, just see what Hollywood did to my musical Cats. Then the approval came back with a note saying, no doctor's report required.
Mr. Lloyd Webber, right this way.
You can bring as many dogs as you want after what they did to
Isn't like
Cats.
just the base story of Cats like demented anyway?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, the movie...
Hollywood definitely did no favors to it, but it's also at its core, just a very strange Broadway musical.
Making all of the characters like CG anthropomorphic cats definitely made things crazier, but the original Cats musical was already batshit insane.
Yes.
The whole Jekyll Cats like they have to
ascending.
Yeah, one of them has to like fucking die by the end of the night. Like the whole thing. That's you, buddy, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just seeing your own work finally reflected back to you in a way where you can see it like everyone else saw it before.
Oh, that's what I meant? Wow, I'm fucking weird.
Oh, I wrote that, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
strange.
fucking weird.
I do need therapy.
He has a very interesting career.
Yeah.
He
wrote some bangers.
And he wrote a lot of his bangers he wrote when he was young.
Yeah.
Like 18. And
well,
like,
as with most people.
But like Cats was like Cats, and then the one Cats was later in his career, and then he did one that was like the most dangerous Broadway show until the Spider-Man show.
Yeah.
Where all of his performers were on roller skates the entire time.
It was like Xanadu?
It was about trains, I think. It was like basically Cats, but they were trains.
Great.
And just literally
it's
choreographs roller skating.
That's the thing is it's hard to, when it's a different generation of talent, like, you know, you grew up and you're like, oh, Jimi Hendrix is an old person who's dead. But like all of these musicians that wrote some of the greatest albums of all time were all like in their late teens, early 20s when they did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no one, like, okay, there's some exceptions of older people writing good shit, but like, a lot of that is like, it really peaks pretty young.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
So Lloyd Webber doing this in his younger years is not that wild to me.
Yeah, Cats, he was like in his, I guess, 30s. But he did like...
It was his LSD phase?
Yeah, I think Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, he did like literally in high school.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, because you don't have a filter. You're just putting shit out there. It's like, you don't even give a fuck.
Yeah.
There's no like walls built around you that like, oh, this is kind of weird what I'm doing. It's just like, no, I'm going to be as weird as possible.
I'm going to make a musical about Jesus.
Yes.
And Jesus' neighbor Joseph, who had a sick coat.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Jesus Christ Superstar. All right. Joseph is another Bible one though. That's the Old Testament.
All right.
I don't know. I don't remember. You'll correct me.
Anyways, we do have headlines coming up, but first, this episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip those trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
HelloFresh offers 50 menu and market items to choose from every week, from vegetarian meals and calorie-smart choices to extra special gourmet options. There's something for everyone to enjoy, with recipes designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. HelloFresh is also a great value. It's over 30% cheaper than shopping at grocery stores, with pre-portioned ingredients that ensure you won't spend money on excess food that ends up going in the trash.
2 quick and delicious recipes coming up next week that we're really looking forward to are the one-pan Santa Fe pork tacos and meatballs with bulgogi sauce. Both of which are cooked and ready to eat in about a half an hour. Fast! Start having fun in the kitchen like we are by going to HelloFresh.com/WeeklyWeird14 and using our code WeeklyWeird14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. Again, that's up to 14 free meals by going to HelloFresh.com/WeeklyWeird14 and using that code WeeklyWeird14.
And this episode is sponsored by Feels. CBD isn't about what you feel, it's about what you don't feel. Stress, anxiety, pain, sleeplessness. If you experience any of these things, Feels CBD is a safe and natural solution without any harmful side effects. Feels is a better way to feel better.
Feels is a premium CBD that will help you keep your head clear and feel your best. It's hassle-free, it's delivered directly to your door. Now, CBD naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. There's no hangover or addiction. We both use Feels to make sure we can get a good night's sleep and not feel groggy in the morning. Love their little mints.
Yeah.
Keep the mints on the bedside. And if I'm feeling a little too wired at the end of the night from editing or whatever, pop a mint, maybe do a drop. Good to go.
Yeah, you can do both if you want.
Double dip. That's up to you.
Yeah, so just place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. Or if you need a dose of chill on the go, pop one of Feels' new CBD-infused mints for a clear-headed feeling with the bonus of having fresh breath. These mints are great. We love them, obviously.
Yeah.
The thing to remember about CBD is that finding your right dose is important. Everyone's dose is different, so Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience so that you find your perfect dose. The Feels customer service team is dedicated to making sure you get the best use of your CBD.
Joining the Feels monthly membership makes your self-care easy. You'll save money on every order and you can pause or cancel at any time. Start feeling better with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/weird and you'll get 40% off your first 3 months with free shipping. That is FEALS.com/weird to become a member and get 40% automatically taken off your first 3 months with free shipping. Feels.com/weird.
All right, now time for the second half of the show where we look at some funny headlines from the last week or so, starting with Elijah Wood says a Lord of the Rings orc design was based on real-life orc Harvey Weinstein.
Plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an open secret that this guy was a fucking piece of shit, so it wouldn't surprise me that someone would do, like, not too direct of a thing, but something.
Peter Jackson, so the story behind it is that Peter Jackson was originally supposed to make Lord of the Rings for Miramax, and Harvey was difficult to work with, kept insisting that he had to tell the entire story in
90 minutes?
Yeah, in one movie.
Yeah.
And probably with a hard 90 minutes on it, because Weinstein was always very domineering about like running times and shit. And so like after years of doing that, where also during that time Harvey Weinstein was like, don't cast this girl, she's difficult. Don't cast her. Basically blacklisting a bunch of actresses. Fucking Peter Jackson finally takes it to New Line, and they make the movies the way he wanted to. But after years of trying to make it work over with Harvey, so yeah, he apparently he made sure that one of the orcs looked just like Harvey Weinstein, just to have a little bit of petty revenge.
Gotta feel bad for those orcs.
Yeah.
Police searching for man who allegedly took dirty diapers from Toronto daycare. Oof.
Yeah, they got this guy on camera. He's showing up at this daycare like multiple times a day, like opening up the dumpster and just
gotta go when it's fresh.
Grabbing an armful of wet ones, hot ones, and just taking them home and doing God knows what with them. I don't know. He's stealing baby shit.
Boss baby shit.
Yeah, maybe he's got a whole boss baby thing going on. Maybe he's I don't know how that would work, but
this is fucking disgusting.
It's really gross. Yeah.
They should get a lock for these dumpsters.
Yeah. Ugh. Crickets named as cause of mysterious Havana syndrome.
Oh God, really? So was it the cicadas all along?
So this is a leaked document from 2 years ago, where this organization in the U.S. government called Jason, that's like the nation's top scientists, they analyzed it and they're like, there's no evidence that any like microwave weapons are being used on anybody. Yeah. And they're like, it's probably this specific species of cricket that's found in Cuba that was like living in the walls of the embassy. But since that came out,
people have used the excuse.
Yeah, someone's just like, oh my God, I was working overseas for the State Department. I got the Havana syndrome. Anyway, can I have disability? Like Congress is like, you got it. We can't agree on jack shit. We're gonna rubber stamp this fucking bill that makes anyone who gets Havana syndrome just like have even better health care than they already do working for the U.S. government. But yeah, there's no fucking evidence that this shit is real. It's hilarious that it gets discussed with such like serious tone in like the New York Times and shit. They're like, gosh, another CIA employee came down with Havana syndrome while working in Europe. Mm-hmm. This is serious. It's like there's no fucking evidence of any of this.
Also, they were within 1 square mile of fentanyl, so
yeah. But it's like it is basically the State Department version of touching fentanyl. But like there's no evidence
because there's no way to like disprove it either.
Yeah, well, there's no way to even like the weapon that they're describing. There's no way of proving it even fucking exists. Or how it could even exist. It's the perfect fucking CIA thing. It's like, there's someone's got magical like fucking ray guns that they're shooting at our guys. Anyway, can we have...
It makes them dizzy and gives them headaches.
It
has the same effects as like alcohol and a bad night's sleep.
One of the first sufferers of Havana syndrome like started reporting his symptoms like the morning after partying with a bunch of Russians in St. Petersburg. And, like, just all night, just pounding drinks and waking up the next day.
I feel like shit.
Oh, God, wait.
They must have used some kind of ray gun
in my brain. Come on, people.
Yeah. Defendant attempts citizen's arrest on judge during assault trial. You, sir, you're in contempt.
No one ever thinks of that.
You're in contempt. You're under arrest.
Yeah. Stop resisting. It was a brilliant move, and now that man is free, and the judge is now in prison.
The judge is on trial.
No, that's not what happened. The man was tackled by a bailiff and taken back to his cell.
Yes.
Didn't really work.
He arrested so many people on the way back to his cell, too.
You're under arrest. You're under arrest.
And bailiff, get those cuffs on yourself.
Yeah, some guy's cuffing him, and he's like, you're under arrest. And they're like, oh, jeez.
He did it again.
Guess you got to cuff me.
Yeah.
How does he keep getting away with it?
Genius move.
We should do something about this citizen's arrest.
Seems like people are abusing it.
Rogue grandma breaks bones on slide after sneaking into water park at 2 a.m.
Oh. Help!
So there's a lot to this. This woman, like, she's a grandma. She's like 45 years old.
Oh.
So, which is, yeah, you can be a grandma at 45.
You certainly can.
If you had a kid really young and she or he also had a kid really young,
Yeah.
It works. But yeah, this 45-year-old grandma in the UK, her and
I'm a hot grandma.
her and her boyfriend, I guess, they broke into a water park in the middle of the night to go swim around. They're like, let's go on some slides. And they went down the big slide. They got it wet first, made it perfectly safe. The guy got naked for some reason. They went down the slide and, high speeds, going like 40 miles an hour. They get to the bottom and there's a steel barrier
that blocks it
at the mouth of the slide, and both of them go into it feet first and just absolutely shatter their like feet and their lower legs. The guy apparently got a compound fracture with his tibia sticking out, and they were stuck in there like just bleeding out with their legs completely shattered for like 4 hours, just like, help, help.
I'm an old lady.
And now
she's gonna look even more like a grandma.
Yeah, well, they're both in wheelchairs, and they're threatening to sue the water park.
Of course
they are.
Well,
they should have put the steel barrier at the top of the slide. What were they thinking?
Yeah, I mean, maybe both.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they have a case, but this is their own damn fault.
Yes, of course it is.
And you shouldn't feel bad for them. They did this themselves.
How could you charge me, an elderly old woman,
a
with grandma?
Just a little old granny.
Anyways, sounds like justice was served unintentionally, but I can't imagine the lawsuit going their way.
Yeah, this is an L that you take quietly, I think.
Yeah, it's an embarrassing L. Kickstarter launched for the fart pedal, a guitar pedal that turns your tone into fart noises.
That's pretty much what it is. I saw this and I got excited. I was
It's like something they would sell at Spencer's.
Yeah, so I was hoping that it would just be like a timbre thing, like your notes would be preserved and it would just be like musical farts, but it sounds
just
like
one note.
It's just like a sound bank of like 50 different fart noises that somehow like responds to some sort of
the pitch or something,
noise gate or something. So like when you play, it plays fart sounds, but it doesn't correspond to like what you're playing.
Stupid.
At all. Yeah,
it's literally something they would sell at Spencer's.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I hope he develops it further and makes like the fart pedal 2 that is more like musical. Yeah. But still just as wet and loud. But, yeah.
I don't know who would use this other than literally someone pranking someone by hooking it up to their, like, board of pedals.
Yeah, so they sell it, and it comes with, the actual pedal design is hilarious, but it comes with, like, magnetic pedal covers that make it look like just a standard distortion or reverb pedal. So you put one of those on, you put it on your board, like, oh, you should try that one. Oh, what happened?
Can you imagine like a guitar tech?
Yeah, it's a fart pedal.
Like working for like a huge band. They do that like to prank them.
What the fuck?
It's like 50,000 fans.
Yeah. The demo video for this shit it's very funny.
It seems like it doesn't seem like a very universally usable device.
No, there's no purpose for this at all.
Yeah.
Actually, the demo video is funny. Actually, the funniest video is the guy who made it sent it to a reviewer with like all the labeling taken off. It's a mystery pedal. So the reviewer spends like the first 2 minutes of the video just describing it and like looking at the design of it, and then like plugs it in. He's like, all right, let's try it out.
It's funny. It's funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, if you buy this, you'd
Woman fed bears 180 eggs a week, and now she'll pay for it, Canadian officials said. Why, are they going to make her sit in a room and smell the bear's farts?
That would probably be more fair, because they're charging her like $60,000.
Oh, geez.
They're handing her the largest fine ever.
Because this comes down to like you're feeding wildlife, which makes it rely on other humans and come around humans more, which is actually very dangerous.
Yeah, so she's been going to the grocery store and spending just bringing back a truckload of food specifically for bears, and they've had to euthanize like several bears in her neighborhood. Like her neighborhood's been overrun by bears
they're all looking for those
years,
eggs.
And so they've had to like kill some of these bears because they're just like they keep coming back. Like this is a danger, and then they finally figured out it's like, oh yeah, that was me. I was just you know.
You wouldn't charge a grandma, would you?
Just a 25-year-old grandma feeding these bears all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
while it's funny to think about bear farts, this is very bad for the bears.
it's not good for the bears.
Especially in Canada.
You don't want bears in your neighborhood. It's not a good mix. Is that bear fat or just chonky? Lasers may help scientists find out.
Well, bears just got big bones.
That's a chonky bear. Thank you, CNN, for using chonky in a headline.
It's like when you see the tweets of like whenever New York Times uses a word for the first time.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But,
chungy.
This fat bear thing, I do love it every year because it's these grizzly bears. They gotta fatten up before the winter.
Yeah.
So you see them in the spring and they're cut.
Yeah.
They almost look like dogs. And you see them like just before hibernation. They're
big, thick
fucking
boys.
obese. It's beautiful. Good for them. So yeah, every year the park up in Alaska, they have Fat Bear Week where they let people vote on which bear gained the most weight.
The Gay Pride Festival.
Yeah. And they apparently now, the scientists studying these bears, they figured out how to use LiDAR to like capture the bears and actually get like a 3D model of the bear so they can...
That thing's a walking stick of butter.
They can more accurately like calculate the bear's weight instead of just sort of eyeballing it.
Yeah, you cut them open and count the rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a thick boy.
So, yeah.
We're going to make the rich pay, Joe Manchin tells protesters from his yacht.
This fucking guy.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Kristen Sinema, who is basically a fugitive, just refuses to talk to her constituents under any circumstances for the last 3 years.
Joe Manchin can be reached via kayak.
Yeah, this Joe Manchin has made himself available on his yacht, where if you would like to talk to the senator and you have your own means of conveyance, you can kayak over to him and shout up at him, and he'll be like, "Hell yeah, I agree with you. We should make the rich pay." And then
and there's like the excuses like, "Oh, he lives on it," but it's like, okay, but that's not his only house. He has like 3 other houses.
It's a $700,000 like, I guess it's technically a houseboat, but yeah, it is very funny. Mm-hmm. These two just the two worst people in the world, Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, just holding this whole thing up. And it would be one thing if they had like principles behind it. If you could say like, okay, what do you disagree about? Like, what are your reasons for opposing this? What would you like to change? And they're just like, make it cheaper.
Yeah.
Manchin literally came out. He's like, so you got like 3 things on here. Just pick 1 or 2 of them, but not 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not principled at all. He's just
trying to make it difficult on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
And meanwhile, Kristen Sinema, just an enigma. You can't even. So why are you opposed to this? Throw the smoke bomb and just disappears.
See ya.
She should get bullied every day for the rest of her political career. Just follow her around.
Yeah.
Stick the microphone under the bathroom stall.
Ma'am, please explain yourself.
Yeah.
Anyways, didn't someone get stuck in a bathroom with her when she was trying to run and hide from like questions?
No, but people followed her into the bathroom when she tried to run away. And then everyone's like, oh my God, we're following politicians in the bathroom? I'm like, maybe if she held like a town hall or like anything.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't even return phone calls to her office. Like she just fucks off. She did an internship at a vineyard like 3 weeks ago while this budget shit was...
She clearly doesn't want to be involved anymore.
Yeah.
She's just like waiting for time to run out.
She's also like, there's people dug up interviews with her from like 10 years ago, not that long ago, where she's espousing some pretty far left views about like how, medicine and taxing the rich and all this other stuff, like drug prices should be lower, and all this stuff. And now suddenly, now that she's getting money from the pharmaceutical industry, she's opposed to, bills that would affect that stuff in some way. And yet she refuses to explain her change of heart.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out one day when she doesn't give a fuck anymore and is literally just running a winery in Arizona.
Yeah.
So
the Manic Pixie Senator Winery.
That's it for this week's episode of Weekly Weird News. Stay tuned for more, of course, next week. And if you've missed any of our episodes, they're right up over here. We got a new episode of Newsdom that talks about the Twitch leak. And last week was a big tech week. So check out both of those episodes. I almost said favorite, like it's fucking 10 years ago. Like, subscribe,
share,
comment, do all that.
Post this to Dig.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.